brother-in-law tried to get me fired, so I ruined his wedding photos. This actually happened about 4 years ago. At the time I was married to my now ex-wife. Her sister Alice was getting married to Roger. But let's backtrack a bit so I can set the scene. It's a bit long, but bear with me, friends. I'd had a storied past with Roger and we did not care for each other in the least, to put it mildly. He was a compulsive liar, mooch, and cheat, and had pretty much alienated Alice from most of her friends and family. He and I had a falling out over all this where I called him out on all his BS. In revenge, he said a lot of really horrible lies about me to the family and had done his best to try and get me fired from my job as well as some other things I can't discuss. Really evil shit. As a result, we had to pay a lawyer to send him a cease and desist letter and we went NC with either of them. I wouldn't even be in the same building with him, for any reason, including birthdays, Christmas, etc. After a few years, I was still NC with either of them, but I came under a lot of pressure from my in-laws to normalize things somewhat. You know, for the good of the family. Now, I got along great with my in-laws and it was really important to them, so I gave it a shot. I would basically be at an event with them but wouldn't socialize or engage with either of them. A few months later they announced their engagement and began planning the wedding. My wife was to be MOH and our kids would be flower girl and ring bearer. Now, I was absolutely not in the wedding party and I was perfectly okay with that. As the planning continues, I get word that Roger would like to buy me a suit as his way of making amends and so I wouldn't have to pack a suit of my own. I had plenty of suits, so this was a really odd request, but he comes from some money and said it was his way of trying to make amends for all the BS in the past. Whatever, fine, I'll go along. I sent my measurements over along with my son's for the wedding planner. The wedding was in a different state, so I wouldn't be able to see the suit until we picked it up a day before the wedding. This concerned me along with his insistence that I wouldn't have to bring a suit, so I packed my own suit as well. A nice charcoal gray two-piece with white shirt and blue tie. We fly into the state, check into our hotel, and I head to the haberdasher to pick up the suits along with my son and Phil. Turns out Roger hadn't bought us suits but had actually rented us the same cream-colored tuxedos as his side of the wedding party, basically trying to dress us up like the groomsmen despite not being in the wedding. I immediately saw why he didn't want me to pack a suit and had a good laugh at it, but said nothing and let him think he got over on me. My wife also found this quite hilarious, and there we formulated our plan. The day of the wedding, everyone got dolled up in their wedding kits and me, in my charcoal gray suit. When Roger saw me, he was cordial but looked a bit irked. I found out through the grapevine he was absolutely livid I didn't wear the tux, which, frankly, made my day. Now for the absolute best part, and cue the petty revenge, the pictures. Because I was close family, I was included in a lot of pictures by default, but my wife, bless her heart, made a point of pulling me into almost every picture she was able to. When the pictures came back, it was amazing. In at least 60% of the pictures, I was in there somewhere and stood out like a sore thumb. 8-10 people all dressed the same in cream and white and me, in my almost black suit. Alice was so beyond pissed she had a near meltdown and insisted that everyone get together to retake the pictures the right way, which of course didn't happen as this was 3 months after the wedding. So, yeah, enjoy your wedding album with its almost perfect color scheme and coordination. Edit. Since everyone wants to own why we split up, it wasn't related to this. She had some untreated mental illness and infidelity issues that made an ongoing union untenable.